Actually, I was the only one in the theater, so technically... Alone Yet Not Alone is the true story of a German immigrant family who faces trials and tragedy during the French and Indian War preceding the American Revolution, and how their faith guided them through. Okay, right off the bat, this may be the hardest movie I've ever had to review. No, not because I struggled with any kind of confusion about whether or not it's a well-made film. It's not. Or even the dilemma of tearing apart a movie that has something really valuable to say. In fact, I'm not sure that the message of this movie is even clear enough to be defended. No, the reason this one is so hard is that it just feels pointless to really dissect a movie that not many are likely to even know about, let alone see, except those who have a vested interest in its success, or who have been convinced that it's a faith-based film that honors their values. So I'd rather just keep my mouth shut and let it just be whatever it is. Except I kind of do this thing where I review every movie that shows in the local multiplex, so I guess this is the consequence. And who knows, maybe there'll be just one person who thinks, I wonder if that movie is worth watching. And I guess I get to be the one to tell them, no, it's really not. This is just an awful movie, really, all around. I mean, the acting is over the top, the score is intrusive, and the story isn't really even all that interesting. Now, I'd blame a lot of this on the fact that so much of the acting is done by kids, but honestly, the adults in this aren't really any better. In fact, the adults often feel like children, like they're putting on a play at home for their parents, begging for attention with every wide movement and facial contortion. It kind of gives the whole movie a feel of desperation, like that person you know that you're convinced is really a nice person at heart, but doesn't realize how annoying that constant need for attention is. And worst of all, I'm not even sure that the message is all that great. I mean, I think they were going for a story of faith and perseverance, but instead ended up with something that is sort of condescending and actually racially insensitive. In fact, after quoting a few lines of the Native American characters in this to a friend, he wondered if maybe the movie was financed by the owner of a certain Washington football team. Plus, towards the end, when the movie should be blissfully over, it spends another 20 minutes developing a love story that we don't even care about in the least, even more muddying the already dark waters of what this movie was supposed to truly be about. Now, if you're waiting for me to say something good, well, let's see. Without giving it away, I guess there is a moment towards the end that is interesting, and has to be the reason someone thought this movie was worth making. Now, it was only part of the story that engaged me, and it only lasted about 20 seconds, as if one distant star shining in an otherwise dark, inky sky. And maybe, in better hands, that moment could have been worth the telling of this story, but here, we're just left with what feels like a rambling story where you wonder why they're telling it in the first place. Overall, Alone Yet Not Alone is at best a well-intentioned failure in execution. The entire movie feels condescending, poorly acted, and full of cinematic desperation. Even that one brief moment of gained interest is only enough to bring it up to a D-. Thanks for checking out this Your Movie Friend review. You can stay tuned for this review's best ever challenge here in a bit. First, want to throw some stuff up over here you can click on. If you'd like to subscribe, which I'd very much appreciate, you can do that by clicking the big gray subscribe button. Want to see more? Well, I've got reviews of 22 Jump Street and How to Train Your Dragon 2 out this week. You can also click the logo right up here to go to the all-new YourMovieFriend.com, where you can find a searchable database of reviews as well as the written text of these videos. And finally, this review's best ever challenge. This is where you name the best movie ever in a particular category and also try to identify my choice. What is the best 18th century movie ever? That's right, movies set in the 1700s. I'm going with the one that you might think involves Toothless playing hide and seek with Tigger. Drop your own answer and a guess at mine in the comments, and the first person to guess mine does get a point. Thanks, and please subscribe.